5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Good morning. Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you from day 2 of the 34th Annual Futures and Options Expo in Chicago. Joining me live from Nasdaq booth 427, we have Doug Ashburn. He's the Director of Strategy and Development over at T3 Custom. It's great to see you at FIA. And we're going to focus on reinventing options education. What has changed and what do we need to do going forward?
Yeah, it's a challenge, isn't it? We're often marketing to the younger folks now, and they don't have the same value system oftentimes as those of us who have been around the block a couple times. And the same things don't resonate, and they certainly don't consume information the way they used to. So it's really created kind of a change in the way we do things.
Is it because there's an introduction of digital assets and that's where the focus is right now, and perhaps not traditional asset classes like equities and bonds, futures and options? Or what do you need to do to get their attention?
Well, it's good you mentioned that, because digital assets is one that does resonate with them. They understand it. They grew up with it. It's something that, those of us are learning, but yet they grew up with it. So it's actually a good teachable moment that I found. And it's funny, I was talking with my son. He was a senior in college. He's since graduated, but it was right at the height of the Bitcoin bubble. And a couple of his roommates had pooled together some of their money, and they had
their student loan residuals.
Well, probably the beer money, actually.
Well, there you go.
So even worse. And of course, it was the absolute high, and they learned that the hard way. So I actually gave them a bit of options education in the way we do it at T3, which is find that human approach, that conversational approach that actually will resonate with them and connect with them. And what I did is I actually said, okay, well, this was probably your semester's beer money that you guys lost. So what if instead of saying, here's my beer money for the semester, I'm going to put it into this asset, what if I were to instead take a small portion of it and invest in the right but not the obligation to have it at some price, maybe above where it is? They were saying, well, we think it's going to double. It's doubled in the last couple of months. It's probably going to double again. Okay, well, this is a way to, in a way, have your beer and drink it too.
Exactly.
And that's then, you segue into saying, okay, well, that's what's known in our business as a call option. You said, well, instead you wanted to invest that money, but instead take that beer and invest a portion of it in a protection to, in case you're wrong and it goes the other way. So once we're in, that's called a put option, and you use it for protection. And so, when you explain it in the way that they can conceptualize, we're not talking about money. We're not talking about the Black-Scholes formula and all the theoretical probability stuff. We're talking about beer and how you allocate your beer in a more capital efficient way. And that's the introduction to options.
You had mentioned that the younger audience are consuming news different than we may have. How are they consuming it differently?
Well, the lecture and the lecture format like we have in college is gone by the wayside. This is a generation that grew up in the digital world, and they're used to, if you don't hook me in the next 30 seconds, I'm tuning out to something else because I have 10,000 other options to occupy my time with content. And so you really need to find that thing and find it in a hurry in a way that resonates.
Right. And I also think they like authentic content. So what you see over social media or in other engaging video production, I have noticed that's kind of where they gravitate towards.
Exactly. And what we call that is the democratization of content. And nothing resonates more, mentioned value systems, nothing resonates more now than the democratization, making things fair for all.
It's interesting. That theme has really resonated here as well, the democratization of research as well. So I feel like the way that we consume news and expect our news on demand, whether it's the older institutional audience or the younger millennial investors, that really seems to be a key theme.
Right. Yeah. The crowdsourcing of information. But then you take it one step further in the democratization and you explain how essentially options, what they're designed to do is give to everybody that which what they view the well-heeled as only having access to: capital efficiency, protection, added income, flexibility. And that's really what defines listed options. And I think that's how, if we can find that human approach, that democratization, we can, and bring it to things that they understand. Digital assets and beer, we can pull in the next generation.
All right, Doug, thank you so much for joining me at FIA. Thank you for joining me throughout the past couple of days. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.